Would you let your Thea pick out your next date? Well, that's exactly what this new YouTube dating show is all about. Thea's Choice. 3 New York Theas will put 4 potential dates through the ringer to see who is worthy of going on a date with the lucky single. You heard me right. The lucky single has absolutely zero say in who she goes on a date with. Will the Theas choose who the lucky single actually wants? Or will they choose what they think is best? In the end, it's Thea's Choice. This is going to be your new favorite YouTube show. I promise you. So go and subscribe now to Thea's Choice. Welcome to Bitefully. I'm Claudia Sandoval. Here on Bitefully, we explore people's memories through what I call their food memory archive. Today we have an incredible guest, and I'm so excited to have him here because he's here all the way from Miami, Florida. So pull up a chair. You're at the table with us. Introduce yourself for everyone who doesn't already know who you are, which they should.
I am a chef. I am a foodie at heart. I am a cookbook author. I'm a caterer. I'm an uncle. I'm a son, and I'm hungry.
He's like, where are we going to go eat afterward?
Yeah, that's all I'm worth. I'm a tourist. So as a tourist, like,
what does that mean?
I'll work 24 hours, but
okay.
I need to know food. Like the food is in my future and like ASAP.
Are you one of those people that like gets hangry?
Oh yeah, I'm about to get. That's why.
Okay,
what did I tell you right now?
Guys.
What did I tell you right now? I'm like, enjoy me before I start shutting down and I start getting. And by that I mean I get hangry. I do get
hangry.
Okay,
all right. Well, let's keep you in a good mood. I wish I had snacks.
No. Otherwise I'm like, what'd you say?
What'd you say? Well, on Bitefully, we always explore people's what I call food memory archive. And what this means to me is, I think like everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're a chef, whether you are, an actress, an actor, a musician, a construction worker, everybody has this kind of living memory archive where we hold all of these memories about foods that are nostalgic, that take us back to who we are, where we've come from, and sometimes where we're going. So my question for you today is similar to what I ask everyone when they come on this podcast is, do me a favor, indulge me, close your eyes. And I want you to think back to your first food memory. It could be an ingredient. It could be a plate. It could be anything. What comes to mind? Who's around you? Who made it? Who's with you? How old are you? And what's happening?
So I'd say I'm about 5 years old.
Okay.
And I'm in my family restaurant. And I'm right there in the counter that was in the middle, silver commercial style counter. And mom just starts cutting up the huge boliche that she made, and mom stuffs it with chorizo.
Wait. What's boliche?
Boliche is like picture like a beef tenderloin, a beef round, and then she roasts it. But before she roasts it, she makes an incision in the middle, and she stuffs it all the way. Which for me, I never understand how she's like, if it's this big, how she stuffs it all the way with chorizo. But it's just in there. And then once you roast it for about 5 hours, you cut it up in these half-inch rounds. So you see
like
a little,
medallions?
you see like, the beef is like this size, so it's not little, but, and then you see the little chorizo in the middle. And then she makes like a sofrito sauce with peas and carrots and wine and peppers and onions and tons of garlic, and then she cooks it again for about 2 more hours. So to make this, it truly takes a labor of love.
Yeah.
For her to make this is a sign that she loves you. So she wouldn't make this. She would probably make this at the restaurant like once a month, but just the smell of it, entering the kitchen as a child, and all of the colors, and asking my mom, how did you make this, and how does the chorizo end in the middle, and can I try it, and then serving it with the rice and her famous little repollo salad with the tomatoes and the acidity, and then the crunchy Hawaiian tostones. She only likes Hawaiian tostones.
Wait, what do you mean Hawaiian tostones? Like,
there's the regular plantain, and then there's the Hawaiian one. The Hawaiian one is thicker, and then when you fry it, it's crunchier on the outside, but it's fluffier in the inside. So it's like biting into like a little like a dumpling where it's just, no, but this, no. not a dumpling. This is better than the dumpling. Whatever, you have to try it. But it's just it's just the right way. And then you put the perfect amount of salt, and so freaking delicious. Entonces, you get the chorizo with the rice, and obviously the rice has to soak in all that liquid with the salad, and then you're like eating it like that, and then stuffing the tostón in your mouth. It's just out of this world. Out of this world.
Sounds
and
incredible.
Whenever a special guest come over, that's what moms put on the table.
Okay.
And we serve it family style. So the idea is that you serve yourself, you pass it around, and we get to sit around the family table and enjoy as a familia.
I love that you're not just taking me back to a meal, right? But that it's the restaurant that you grew up in. You mentioned this in our pre-interview when we were chatting, that you grew up in a restaurant. You grew up with this hustle bustle, and now you own your own catering company. But how crazy, how cool, were you doing like, homework in the like I grew up with the same kind of craziness because my mom was a food and beverage manager and my dad was an executive chef. So I grew up with that same hustle and bustle of life. Does that feel nostalgic for you, or does that feel like, oh my gosh, I never want to own a restaurant?
It's very nostalgic because it's what I grew up with. I was born into a family restaurant. My mom was a waitress at the restaurant, and she had an affair with my dad.
Oh, snap.
And then my stepmom was the one that raised me and the person that I call mom today. So
Escándalo.
Yeah, there's like some Jerry Springer meets Cristina situation. I know, it's crazy
Jerry.
Yeah. And for many years of my life, that's how it was. It was like a novela every day.
Cállate.
Yes, but what kept me centered was always the family business. I was always observing mom cooking in the kitchen and seeing everything she would do there. Then I would go to the front and I'd see dad bossing everyone around, making sure clients were happy. And I would walk around with him in each table, making sure people were happy.
Aww.
And then I'd see also the back end. Dad would take me to go buy all of the produce, all of the meats, all of the things. So really, I was just, since I was born into it, I was getting like pre-training to what I would be doing in the future. And it's just part of me, of who I am today. So I get the cooking and the sazon and probably the little saltiness from mom. Like
saltiness, I love that.
I'll put you in your place. And then I get the business aspect from dad.
Okay.
And then what were we in the business of? Of catering to others. And that's what I did today.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. How incredible of your stepmom, who is your mom, right? I have a stepdad and he's my puppy. He's my daddy, and because I know what having a step parent is and having them be just such a pivotal, iconic part of your life in a way that really I am his, right? Like it doesn't matter. And you were so tiny that when your mom decided to make a choice to take care of you and to be your mom, like that's a huge thing, right? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think through her actions, mom has taught me the purest form of love. In our family, we don't put labels on things. And I think that this is a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Because yes, she's not my birth mom, but she took care of me just like as if she was. And never was I treated any differently. I was treated just like her two other children.
Yeah.
And it really, because I have a huge heart, as I told you earlier.
We can tell. It's coming across, baby.
I don't know if, but I still put you in your place. But
but hold on, I will put you in your place.
I have a huge heart, but I don't know if I would raise a child that is proof of the infidelity that just happened. So mom really just taught me the purest form of love. And I'm so happy she did, because I have also used that teaching that, we're just here to love. We're here to love, not to judge. We're not here to put labels. Open your arms and, help out in any way you can.
I love that. I mean, my dad, Father's Day was recently, right? And I wrote this, I had like a really big reflection about just how much our parents sacrificed for us. I mean, I'm sure your mom had to sacrifice a lot, especially with this whole thing happen. But, you also mentioned that the business ended up going away.
Yeah.
And how she ended up having to work 3 jobs to take care of, you and your brothers or your family.
Well, pretty much when we lost everything, everyone went their own separate ways.
Yeah.
And then mom had 3 jobs to just pay the bills, to pay everything. And but I think that everything happens for a reason, because if I wouldn't have been home alone, I wouldn't have been flipping through the channels one day and I see this man and he goes, bam!
you scared me. I was
And
like,
let me
"Ah."
tell you, at that moment,
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I went like this and I started seeing visions. I saw myself with a chef jacket cooking. Mind you, I didn't know what anything of that was. I saw people clapping, me feeding people, people going like, going like that, and just sharing food and me passing out plates. And at the time, I remember I went like that. I'm like, is this what puberty is like? I'm like, what is going on? And I just saw all of that. But I remember that the feeling of it was so intense that I eventually, every day at 7 p.m., I was glued to the TV to watch it again because I'm like, something just happened here. I don't know what it is. Well, by the end of the week, I knew what happened.
Yeah.
I realized that I wanted to try what that man was doing. So I
Yeah.
had like $20 in my pocket. I went downstairs to the supermarket. I picked up some chicken. I got some rice. I got some yellow food coloring, which till today I don't use it because some peppers, onions. And I went back home. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I'm like, I'm going to make an arroz con pollo. When my mom walks in, I tell my mom, me and Chef Emeril made this for you. She's like, ¿Quién carajo is Chef Emeril? What? You're not allowed to let anyone come in here. I'm like, no, mom. And with a Cuban mom, you have like 2 seconds before you get no, mom, Chef Emeril, bam. Like the TV goes, and I'm like, and I put it on TV, and then we sat down together and we watched it together. But that's where my love starts. So, and then doing now everything I do on TV, and I see the visions and everything that I ever dreamed of. Like I remember in early 2000s watching the next Food Network star, and I remember I was like, man, I'd like to be on that show one day. And let me tell you, so many times when I was filming Food Network Star, like people would be like, hello, are you there? I'm like, what? Because I could not stop staring at the logo that would say Food Network Star. And I saw this as a child.
Yeah.
So I attracted all of this.
How many of us were raised with Emeril? Because, oh my God, me too, same. Like when I met Emeril last year at the Boku store, I got a chance to tell him, I don't think you realize how many people you've helped create. Not just because you showed us that it was possible, but because he was so bam, to your point, right? Yeah. He was so himself that it almost gave me the okay to be like, laugh loud, be yourself, be vibrant, right? I'm vibrant without my red hair, right? Yeah. So like I can just be myself and do what I do and be successful because nobody out there is Claudia Sandoval, right?
No.
Like nobody out there is Chris Valdes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like I love that. But then going to the part about visualizing, I very rarely tell this story, but when I was on MasterChef, I had a dream the night before. So I believe that we're going to get a little woo-woo, guys. Everything's going to be okay. My premonitions don't come in like awake state. I always get them during my sleep. All joking aside, I get this dream that I was making this dish and the base was tomato. And fast forward the next day, we open up mystery boxes and I think there was like 5 of us at this point, maybe 6 people left in MasterChef. We open up the mystery box and there's 1 tomato in front of me. And I swear to you, it was like what you're talking about when you were looking at that Food Network sign where I was like, oh my God, like this cannot be real. Like it cannot be real. Like it cannot be real.
It's a sign.
Yeah. And not the worst, but like the craziest part was like, we got to choose where we stood. So I had chosen that. I had walked up to that box and that's what I had. And so coincidentally, in that season when I was in, I was like the strong one in desserts. And my best friend in the competition, Nick Nappy, got chocolate and he's Italian. So he turns around and he's like, yo, Claudia, what's up? Like, let's trade, my friend. Like, chocolate is you, right? Mexico. And he's like, tomato, Italia. Like, let's go, homie. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Why didn't you trade it?
Because I dreamt about it. Because I knew it. Because I knew it. I knew.
Wow.
And dude, I won that fucking mystery box challenge. I won that challenge and I felt bad. I feel bad because I get why my friend was like, come on, girl. And I ended up telling him later, but in that moment, it felt very selfish, but I was like, no, this is like manifest destiny type deal. You know what I mean? Like this is meant to happen. This is meant to happen. And yeah, sure enough, I was the only woman in that whole season to win a mystery box. And it was the last one. My point in sharing that story with you is I think that sometimes we have these little moments where you have that inner voice that kind of says to you like, no, you're going to do this because you manifested this, because you saw this, because you were 5 years old, watching or feeling these things while you were watching TV, or 7 years old, however old you were, I think we need to lean into those moments.
Yes. And you know that sometimes I feel that I have premonitions, or there's little voices that talk to me, or there's some signs there. But sometimes I'm like, I know, yo estoy loco. Like, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. No, like,
This schizophrenia.
and I'm usually like, shut up.
Yeah.
But usually when I don't listen to it, like maybe that by the next day, I have learned that if I would have paid attention to what it was trying to tell me, that it was just trying to warn me about something.
Yeah.
So that is why I have chosen to lean into it, like you said, and to pay attention.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm not saying to do something crazy,
No,
but I'm
claro
like,
que
let
no.
me sit on what I just experienced. What is it trying to tell me? What am I trying to? Where do I have to be cautious?
Right.
Where can I move? And then doing something with it. And I find that that's better than just pretending to think I'm crazy. Which
Right.
sometimes it could just be I'm crazy.
I mean, we're all a little crazy, right?
But by the way, to your point, I'm a little salty that you get those dreams and that psychic ability when you're dreaming. What I dream about is I wake up in the dream and I'm in the middle of a catering service where everything is going wrong. And I'm like, who allowed all of this? And I start yelling at people. I'm like, you fix this. And I'm like, there's not enough people for food for 100 people. I'm like, oh, we have to order this and we have to order it. So I'm just trying to fix everything. And I'm usually in the dream, I'm calling my assistant. I'm like, who allowed this? This is not the Chris Valdes way. So it's just chaos. And then I wake up, I'm like, well, what was the point about sleeping? I'm just...
I was just stressed out about work.
Yeah, now I have to go to work.
Dreams are very telling, right? They can take you from something relaxing and amazing to, of course, those days where, there's days where like I can barely even sleep because I've got so much stress, especially like a day before a huge event. I produce a lot of events. And so, the day before a festival or an event, I'm like, oh my God, did I forget this, you're just going through the list of things. And I'm super ADD in a lot of ways.
Same.
Okay.
And people don't realize because people just judge the work you do outside. Yeah. But I go to sleep and I'm thinking about a lot of things about the event, about the waiters, about the food, about quality of stuff, about so many things. I'm like, nobody pays for this. Nobody pays for this.
Oh my God.
I'm supposed to be relaxing and I'm thinking about all these extra things that I shouldn't even be thinking about.
Boy, preach.
Yeah. But
right.
It must be a chef thing or it must be that we just care. We're the type of people that we care about stuff, about everything.
I think this is why we're friends. Like, I think this is why I think the universe makes no mistakes, right? I think it brings people into your life that are mirrors, in my opinion. And you are exactly that. Anthony Bourdain said it best, like, we're just a bunch of misfits, like all deciding that we're going to come together and make amazing food and amazing experiences for people. Yeah. And there has to be something wrong with us to want to work 12, 16 hours because to your point, even if we leave work, we don't stop working.
Yeah.
I mean, I've literally been battling with this myself, and I don't know how you do this, right? I mean, for catering, it's pretty linear, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm going to charge you per person or per plate or per dish or whatever. But when, for example, you're consulting or using your time, it's like, do they pay for the hour? Or because you and I both know it doesn't matter if you charge them for 40 hours of work, you're going to put in 120.
Yeah.
Right? And like, how do we break that up?
I'm probably not the best type of person to ask.
Yeah.
But I'm in the business to please people. And sometimes that means I don't like if I were to charge you what I feel that I should charge you, then I'd be rich and God knows where I would be. I probably,
right. Yeah.
I'm just a people person, and I feel that that's what attracted me to catering, that I like taking care of people.
Yeah.
Like many times I don't cater as much now with my team.
Yeah.
But anytime I do go to a client's house, like I just went a month ago to my first client's home, which was my first client 16 years ago. And, everyone knows who I am. And they're like, oh my God, you can't be picking that up. You can't be cooking. Did you get me? I'm like, hey, I'm here to cater for you.
Aww.
Like, it doesn't matter who I am.
Yeah.
What makes me happy. And the reason I even operate this business till today is because I want people to feel good through food, through service, through acts of love. So that is how I show up and how I show you that I care.
Yeah.
If I were to charge per minute, Jesus, I'd be a billionaire by now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that acts of service, that being your kind of love language, do you think that translates to a lot of your other relationships with your friends, with your personal relationships? Do you think that translates across the board? Because
Acts
I
of,
definitely feel like it.
acts of service with little details. For me, I always say the little things.
Yeah.
Just obviously through food,
Yeah.
I'll cook something and then I will just greet you at home with it, and you're like, "What? I wasn't expecting this." And don't ask me for it because I won't make it for you. It has to come from the heart.
Yeah. Claro, claro.
Or I don't know, just acts of service. That's just my love language. I love just, I don't know, like if I'd cook for you,
Yeah.
I just will sit here staring at you. I love for people to ask me for Tupperware to take food home. And usually I
Oh,
have it in hand and I'm like, here.
you're like,
But
I
that
was already
makes me
ready.
so happy.
Oh, I
And
love
then at the
that.
catering services, I know that the staff is always like, my God, these people don't stop eating. It's like their third plate. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that any normal person would be like, oh my God, the food is going to run out. Me, since we're in Miami and we know how people eat their 3 and 4 plates, we
Yeah.
bring enough food.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, this is music to my ears. I love it because that means they love what they're
Yeah.
having. They're having an experience. That's how I am.
What's your favorite? I mean, I don't want to be that cliche and be like, hey, chef, what's your favorite thing to cook? But like, what would you say is one of your signatures that like everyone always asks for with your catering gigs?
So I cook very different than I eat.
What does that mean?
So, okay, so for how I cook with all the sazon and all the garlic and the fusion between different cultures and things like that.
Okay.
That's not how I eat. How I eat is picture a 80-year-old American gringo
What?
living.
Stop.
living
Don't
Live-
break my heart.
living in a trailer home.
Say it ain't so.
That is me.
No.
I like, let's say, a ribeye with just salt and black pepper. Maybe a little very simple chimichurri with some cilantro and jalapeno and some lemon. But I eat very simple. I like my plain white rice. I like something for texture, your face. I just eat very simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't and I could try anything, but
Yeah.
I'm just like very simple guy when it comes to that, and that's how I like to eat.
Interessante.
But very different.
I feel like I need to speak to you like this now.
But it's very different than how I cook. How I cook is very different. And normally I don't even like to eat what I'll try it. And I like the energy it transmits to others. But for me, and obviously it's good, but for me, I just like eating very simple, bland food.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't think I've ever said that.
you're like, I don't think I've ever said that.
Yeah.
Uncovering the truths here, guys.
Yeah. And you're mortified. You're
I'm
like, who is this creep?
Do I
didn't
know this person? No. I mean, my daughter's in the next room, and I feel like she would tell you that I'm pretty simple too. Like, I cannot tell you how. Like, every time she comes home from university, she's like, "There's nothing in the fridge," and I'm like, "Hi, my food consists of like." this is gonna sound awful. Is like eggs and beans and tortillas and like I'm not joking. I think I eat like maybe like I don't know, maybe like 20 eggs a week. It's crazy. Like I eat a lot of eggs. Because I'm very protein forward, and I'll do like cottage cheese and fruit for a snack and like granolas. And then for dinner, like I'll usually have like some form of chicken, some form of fish, something like that. But yeah, it's the reason why I was like, what? Please tell me there's some form of carbohydrate or vegetables in there. I eat a lot of vegetables, but when my kid's not home, it's just me, right? So I'm just cooking for myself. So it's also just like, it's so much easier to just cook simply. And as you know, sometimes you come home and you've cooked. I mean, like my biggest dish is the 47 ingredient mole that people request, right?
47.
You think I'm about to make a 47 ingredient mole for
Yeah.
myself, dude? I can't stand the smell of anything after making that, right? For like a week. Because it's blown out my palate. Like
Yeah.
I've been working on it for days, and like it literally takes 3 to 4 days to make. So
Jesus.
you get what I'm saying? Like to your point, I think a lot of people don't realize that the reason why chefs eat more simply is not because we like to eat that way. It's because we've given everything we have
I
to our
think so.
food.
And my guilty pleasure, now that you said yours,
Yeah.
is I eat this probably 3 times a week, is just regular white rice.
Yeah.
And I get canned low sodium black beans, like not seasoned or anything, and I just pour them on top of the rice without microwaving it or anything.
Y'all, I'm stressed.
I'm telling you.
I'm stressed, y'all.
Yes. Wow, I've never said that, but that's one of my guilty pleasures.
We got to talk, friend.
Yeah. No, and I eat good.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but this is just like
Yeah,
when
there's like a guilty
I think
pleasure.
it's because we spend so many hours cooking for others. Let me give you another example that I think all chefs can agree. When guests come over,
Yes.
I plate everything so fancy, beautiful, colors, sauce, and the texture and the piles. Then the last plate is mine, and then I'm just like, I just.
Accurate.
Or I'll let everyone sit around and I'm just there watching them like
Accurate.
and I'll probably get like, hey, can I try some of your beef, like and I don't know why is that, and I love myself because at first I'm like, do I not love myself? No, I love myself, but I think that after just spending so many hours cooking and plating it and making, like, putting so much thought behind it, you're like, I'm not even hungry anymore.
I don't know, man. Like,
So I think that's a chef thing.
I think it's a chef thing, but I also think it's a cook thing, because think about it, right? Food, we always talk about food in a way that, like, is, yes, it's nourishment, right? You want this, like, you want a carbohydrate and a sauce and a protein and a veg, right? You want like this composed dish. Okay, fine, I get it. Pero you also agree that the reason why a podcast like this exists is because food is never just food. And I keep saying that. And I know I sound like a broken record, but food is never just food. The reason why a podcast like this exists is because food is connected to not just memories, but to nostalgia, to the people that we care the most, to the people that we love. And they impart their love the same way that we do into our food, right? I wholeheartedly believe, and y'all can say whatever you think, but I wholeheartedly believe that there is kind of almost this witchiness to cooking, right? I mean, think about it. A mole, 47 ingredient, is like a witch's brew, my dude. Like, I'm like literally like over a stovetop across 4 days making this sauce that is perfectly balanced, like not too sweet, not too chocolate, not too spicy, not too, like, there is kind of this level. And think about it. Through that food, people fall in love with us. People fall in love with each other.
Is that how people fall in love with you? You give them
I'd hope
your
so.
witch's brew?
You know what? I got to work on my brew.
Wait, where is it? Did you bring me some? I want to try it.
I should have brought you
And
some.
why is it 47 and not 49? Like, why 47?
I know.
There's some numerology in there. You have to look into it. 47.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of these things where I truly think that there is a part of us that is imparting, whether that's love, whether that's what we're feeling, right? I mean, in a very like Como Agua para Chocolate, that book. I don't know if you ever read it. One of my favorite books of all time. If you guys haven't read it, you have to look it up. Isabel Allende. Como Agua para Chocolate, like water for chocolate. It became a movie, and they specifically talk about how, feelings can be imparted into food. And I feel like we are a lot more connected than we think. From the person that helps to pick the food that we cook to, the person that fishes our fish. And I could keep going, right? To the people that actually, to the humans who actually feed us. There is this kind of interconnectedness of just humanness and energy and all of that. And I mean, I know I keep going back to this woo-woo part, but there has to be something there, I think.
And I also say that food, there's something energetic about it because it's the one thing we all have in common. We all have to eat and we all love to eat.
Yep.
So it's definitely something, and this is something I preach through everything I do, is to use food to bring us back together to the family table. I remember, before we lost our family, how important food was for us. We would go from our family restaurant, we would bring in leftovers, and we would fill the table with food, and we would all just talk about our day. I would talk about school, my parents would talk about the restaurant. We were all just connected in the table through food.
Yeah.
And I miss those days. Yeah. And I believe that if we were to do that in our households, that could bring us together a little more. We could put social media down.
Yes.
Like with my nephews, I usually tell them, put your phone away. Yeah. Let's just enjoy these 20 minutes together, talking about our day, enjoying this food we did together, and just like, let's talk about life.
Yeah.
And I think that's an ingredient that's missing in today.
Yeah.
And if we were to do more of that, maybe, just maybe, we'd be a little more connected.
And I think that's exactly what, this podcast and what I'm trying to do with this is, we live in such a difficult time right now where there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people talking and, I believe this and I believe that. And there's a lot of division. But to your point, food connects, right? And being at a table with food, it doesn't matter if it's just your family. It could be your friends. It could be your chosen family, right? Because there's a lot of people out there who have had to migrate, who have to find chosen families, who have different family dynamics. But whoever that family is, or even if it's complete strangers sometimes, every time food is the master connector, I always say.
Food changed my life. And if I wouldn't have done that first dish when I was 10 years old,
Yeah.
and then continue to use food as my outlet, as my therapy, as something that would just help me block all of the noise and all the crazy shit that was happening in my life and my family's life, I don't know if I would be here today.
Yeah.
And even now through life, sometimes when I'm just having a rough day or a rough period or a rough chapter, I find myself back in the kitchen with my favorite ingredients, a little wine, some music, and I just like to sit there in my zone and just do my thing.
Yeah.
And it's just the purest form of love that you could provide to yourself. And I'm speaking for myself, but it's just, there's something so magical and healing about it. And then, then add the element of using what you created to just extend some love to someone else, and then them having that. It's just so beautiful. I don't know why that made me emotional. That was just.
Because it is. It's not only evocative of emotion, but it's true. You're right. It is the purest form of love, right? It's taking ingredients and transforming them into something that nourishes. And to your point, that is like self-love, right? You're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of the people you love the most. And we chose to do that as our job, right? How beautiful is that? And I'm not just saying that to like blow smoke up your butt,
Yeah.
You have a major career on this kind of Miami, Cuban, but also kind of taking it into a new realm, right? Modernizing it, mixing it with different cuisines.
Cultures.
Cultures. I mean, you've really made a name for yourself in that realm. A lot of people talk a lot about traditional foods, authentic foods. Why are we fusing foods? I hate fusion foods, things like that. People don't want pineapple on their pizza. What do you think about that? I mean, there's a huge debate. There's people who are like, let's keep everything the way it used to be. And then there's obviously like this move to like, let's fuse, let's have fun with food.
So at first I started, I was like the Miami chef type of situation.
Yeah.
And it was because of Bobby Flay that when we were on Food Network Star, he said, don't make a character out of yourself as the Miami guy. And I took such offense to that, where I made it a mission to become the Miami guy. And what is the Miami chef? In Miami, we just have a representation of so many different types of cultures and cuisines.
Yes.
And now when you go to a restaurant, you have this fusion between so many different cultures that tap into memory, that tap into storytelling, that tap into flavors that you would never think that would go well together, except that ginger and cinnamon situation you said. But it's such a beautiful form of art that they have been doing. And then what else do we have in Miami? If you notice on TV, yes, I am Cuban, but I don't say I am representing Cuba. I say I'm representing Latinos as a whole, because
That's right.
As Latinos, we're brothers and sisters. We're united because we are Latinos.
Yes.
And that's what we need to do, to support each other. It doesn't matter if like the empanada.
Yeah.
The empanada, there's a Mexican version, a Peruvian version, an Argentinian, but is an empanada.
Right.
It's a worldwide symbol.
Yes.
That we get to tell our story through the filling of it, but the outside of it, it's just the same vehicle. Yeah. So I made sure that I made a name out of that, and I did a great job. So props to him for enlightening that in me. And then to the point of the pineapple and pizza, just like I am with I'm like, you put whatever you want on your pizza, on your burger.
Yeah.
Like, because in Spanish, we say, para los gustos se hicieron los colores. And then you have your Mexican version. Which one is it? You taught me today.
En gustos se rompen géneros.
Yes. So it's just like, food is meant to be played with. Yeah. Food is meant to be evolved with. There's no right or wrong way of doing things.
Yeah.
And something else I want to touch on. You said that your daughter, that she didn't know what she was doing and she was cooking all of these things. And so some of us have to have that mentality, because some people say, oh, but what if I get it wrong? I'm like, that's the beauty of cooking. That's how us chefs learned how to cook. We fucked up so many times.
A million times.
That's how we got to this dish. If we wouldn't have fucked up, just like in life, if we wouldn't have fucked up and got into that situationship or in that wrong relationship or done that wrong turn, we wouldn't have learned and get to where we are today. That's how you learn. So it's that what the fuck mentality of having and cooking that makes it so beautiful.
I think part of it is not being afraid to play.
Yes, have
fun. Like, it's
fun,
food.
explore.
At the end of the day, it's food, right? Like, I mean, yes, absolutely. Play with your food. And if you like it, that's all that matters, right? Like, it's really all that matters. At the end of the show, we always do what I call the last bite. One of the things that I really, really, really love about you is kind of this I guess like unabashedness to really be yourself. I guess my question for you is, as someone who I feel like is really kind of on that same path as I am, of just really finding their identity through food, what is next for you? Right? I mean, and I know that's a really big question. I know. And this is not me saying like, tell me about your job. I mean, like, you went through a rough breakup 2 years ago, which changes your identity, por sí o sí, right? I know because me and you are personal friends that we've been doing work, right? I went through like a past life regression. I've been doing all sorts of work in order to grow, evolve, change my identity. And sometimes that pulls me further away from, I mean, look at this. This isn't food. I mean, we're talking food, but I'm not just a chef. The question truly becomes like, what's next for you? You're doing so much work on yourself, on your life, on your business. You're out here in LA taking over the world. What is next for my friend Chris? Not Chef Chris, not Miami Chef Chris. What's next for Chris?
And thank you so much for that, because I feel that many times, and I'm sure you go through this, you're seen as TV person, where you're seen as the brand that you've built, where you're seen as the name, and people forget that you're still a human being, and that you go through stuff, and that you have a lot to navigate. And also sometimes in our world it's a little harder because we have to smile through it all.
Oh yeah.
And you have to put on this font of nothing's bothering me, things like that. Like there's a lot of things that we go through that people don't know about. But
agreed.
Where I am in life today, with everything I've been through in life, my assistant gave me a gift about 10 years ago. And it's a frame that she says she bought it for me at Ross. But she says, I saw it and something told me to buy it for you. And it says, remember why you started.
Oof.
And anytime, life could just get so busy and there's so much happening nowadays, like you said earlier. Anytime I feel lost, I go back to that saying, remember why you started. And the next chapter of my life, I'm going back. So this summer, I turned 16 years as a caterer.
Wow, congratulations.
And I've done so many things I never thought I would do, from catering. Twice a year, I cater for American Airlines for 5,000 people. I deal with all the crazy brides for the 100 guests, which, I rather the 5,000 people, because those brides could be on steroids. But, and then on TV, it's been 11 years that I've been doing that. And my next move, I asked myself, what do I want to do next? So I was having this question a few months ago, and with the breakup thing, I took a year off, and I thought it was the best thing I could do for me.
Yeah.
And it was the best decision I ever took, because who I am today is not the Chris that was 2 years ago. Yes. I used all of that negativity and everything that happened, and I changed it around for a good in my life, for a purpose, for a positive moment. So I've changed so much in my life. But the next project I'm working on is reminding myself of why I started. Yeah. It's because of food, which is it's my therapy. It's because I enjoy storytelling. Yes. It's because as Latinos, we have so many more stories to tell, not just mine, but yours, because yours is mine, mine is yours. So this next project is a love letter to from our kitchens, from our sabor, from our culture to the world. And because it's not about me. I realize that just like food, it's not about me. It's about us. And that's what my next project is about. It's about remembering why I started and using that and continue to inject it into society, of using food as a vehicle to bring people together. And I know it sounds very cliche, but you know what? Maybe I'm Mr. Cliche. And let's do something with it. And just like you are doing with this project, let's put our voices out there and see if we could leave a small token of who we are, and spreading good vibes, and maybe helping people just quiet some of that crazy noise around the world. And what better thing than food than to do that?
Amen. Is it Sunday? Because you're preaching.
But not for long, because I'm hungry and you owe me lunch.
We gotta eat.
Yes,
we gotta eat.
Good food.
Oh, Oh, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I love you. You are such an incredible person.
Thank you.
And
Likewise.
I could tell that you're just a person filled with soul, with love, with purpose.
Mm.
And I'm so happy that I got to share this moment with you.
What an incredible, incredible chat. If something that you felt, that you heard, felt, experienced, saw today resonated with you, please join us on Instagram at Bitefully Pod, and let's continue the conversation, because food is never just food. Connection is the whole point. We'll welcome you back at the table here on Bitefully.